Welcome to day 4 of the Karen Reed retrial. I'm Margaret McLean from Which One Wins at It's a Crime Media. And today the jurors are taking a view of the crime scene. So what will they be seeing? They'll go to 34 Fairview Road, the scene of where Boston police officer John O'Keefe's body was discovered frozen in the snow. So they'll be able to view the yard. They'll be able to view the flagpole and the fire hydrant. And that's where the body was found. They'll also take a look at Karen Reed's Lexus SUV, which will be parked there. They'll be able to walk around it and look at that broken taillight. This will be very interesting because they just listened to the testimony of Carrie Roberts, who described the broken taillight. So now the jurors will be able to see it for themselves. Both attorneys will also get up and briefly describe to the jurors what they'd like to see them pay special attention to. So, Special Prosecutor Hank Brennan will obviously want them to take a good hard look at the Lexus SUV and the cracked taillight and the exact location where the body was found. Defense attorney David Unetti will get up and ask jurors to pay special attention to the Alberts' former home, especially the doors and windows. Remember, the defense is suggesting that something happened to John O'Keefe inside that home and his client Karen Reed was framed. As a former prosecutor, I will tell you it's very common in these trials where the crime scene plays a role. So take a listen.
So the view that we're going on is part of the case, and it means that the observations that you make there can be used and considered by you in your deliberations on this case in reaching a verdict.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. As Her Honor explained to you, we're going to go to 34 Fairview Road. We have some exhibits that are already in evidence. You haven't had a long time to look at them, study them. But essentially, we're going to go to 34 Fairview Road. I ask you just to pay attention to the street, the front yard of the home. And you'll see to the left side of the front yard in the corner, there'll be a car. It's the Lexus that we've spoken about, the defendant's Lexus. And you'll also see a flagpole and a fire hydrant. And so I'd ask you to take a look from different vantage points. Take a look from that area where the flagpole is, from where the fire hydrant is. And you'll see on the street before the grass is a little berm, concrete that comes up a little bit. I'd ask you just to note that when you go there. One thing I'd suggest is it's April 25th, 2025, not January 22nd, 2022. So the weather will be very different. The temperature will be different. The conditions will be different. We're going to go there probably at 10 o'clock. It won't be the same visibility. It won't be the same elements and the same weather. So keep that in mind when you're looking around. When you look at the Lexus, there's a couple things I'd ask you to look at. There is some evidence already of photographs of the right rear taillight. When you look at that taillight, it will be different than the photograph that is in evidence. It has been removed, so it will appear differently, and you'll later hear testimony explaining that process. Also, I'd ask you to make a note on the Lexus about the height of the bumper. I'd ask you to make note of the height of the right rear taillight. And I'd also ask you to take note of, on the top of the hatchback, there is a part that protrudes. I'd ask you to take a look at that as well. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Brennan. Ms. Tianetti?
Good morning. As I told you at the start of the trial, my name is David Unetti. I have an office in Boston and in Dedham. And on behalf of my co-counsel, we will be accompanying you on the view that you will take today. Although the view is not evidence, I suggest to you that you will find it to be helpful, important, even necessary as you later do your investigation of this case within the four walls of this courtroom. We've already received into evidence, some photos and videos, but there is no substitute for your own two eyes. As we all know, photos and videos sometimes can be misleading in terms of relative distances, depending upon the perspective from which the photo is taken. But your eyes are the best computer that you could bring to the view. When we get to 34 Fairview, we will be pointing out certain things that we'd like you to observe. The house, the second floor window to that house, the 3 front doors in the front of the house, the driveway, the street, the front lawn, and the flagpole. And we'll be asking you specifically to consider the distance between that second floor front window and the front lawn. The distance between the front doors to the house and that front lawn. The distance between the driveway to the front lawn. And we'll be asking you to take a good look at that Lexus, to stand next to it, to size it up, to take it in. You were all selected as jurors because the parties entrusted that you would do a proper investigation of this case within this courtroom. On behalf of Ms. Reed, we have every confidence that you will do a proper investigation.